And everybody on the left side over there, everybody on the left side of the ballroom, get on in here, have a seat, come on in, stop the conversations. We're gonna get going with the pitch competition. So before we kick it off, I want to invite one of our good friends and partners on this event. They're co-hosting with us this year. It's the Pegasus Ventures team and the Startup World Cup team. And I'd love to welcome John Lim to the stage now. He's going to tell you a little bit about the Startup World Cup and Pegasus Tech Ventures before we kick off with the competition.
Aloha, Hawaii! Aloha. Welcome to Startup World Cup, the #1 startup pitch competition on the planet. My name is John Lim. I'm a partner and chief strategy officer at Pegasus Tech Ventures, the firm that organizes the global startup pitch competition, Startup World Cup. Now, before I get started with talking about Pegasus and Startup World Cup, I want to give a big shout out to our special partner, Blue Startups, Maya, Shanoa, David, and the entire team. So please join me in. Thank you guys. Great to work with you again for 3 years. All right, so talking about Pegasus Tech Ventures, we're a Silicon Valley-based global VC firm. We have offices not only in the US, but in Japan and Indonesia and Taiwan. We've got a global team supporting what we call a venture capital as a service model. Managing over $2 billion of assets under management, we create dedicated single LP funds, single corporate-backed funds in most cases, and manage the corporate innovation funds for our global corporate partners, investing into top-tier technology startup companies that they can partner with thereafter. Companies like SpaceX, OpenAI, Anthropic, we're proud investors of, but more from Series A+ onwards. So a lot of the startups from around the world wanted to tap into the Pegasus corporate network, and so our founder came up with this idea of, hey, let's create this big global startup pitch competition, bring all the startup ecosystem players together on one platform. So we've done that, plus we've also tied a $1 million investment prize to the global champion every year. And so we're organizing 100+ regional competitions like this. We're glad to be here in Hawaii, but we're going around the world selecting the regional champions that will come and compete at the grand finale. So again, the idea is we create this massive networking platform, bringing the top startup ecosystem players around under one roof for a giant networking opportunity. So we're going around in Europe in different countries, many countries and regions in Asia, of course, North America, here we are today in Hawaii, and covering Africa, Oceania, and South America as well. So after the 100+ regions happen, what we do is we bring the regional winning champions to Silicon Valley for one final competition. This year it's going to be held on November 4th to 6th. We'll do semifinals, and then we do a big conference and networking party on Friday, November 6th. The final event's going to host 3,000+ people from the top startup ecosystem players to the corporates, the startups, the investors, the media, the academia, the government organizations. We welcome anyone and everyone to join and network and help the startup ecosystem grow. So the final competition is also a big global conference at the grand finale, and so we've invited historically the co-founder of Apple, Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Netflix, Mark Randolph, and C-levels board members of top global tech companies to come and share their success stories, give tips and advice to the entrepreneurs. And the final competition, Pegasus does not get involved with the judging. We invite our top friends in the Silicon Valley VC ecosystem from NEA, Lightspeed, Norwest. Actually, Tim Draper also came and judged our grand finale historically. And so this year, again, November 6th, we invite you all to join in Silicon Valley in San Francisco for the final competition. I'm happy to extend a discount code to the Hawaii event attendees here. So hope to see you all in San Francisco, November 6th. See, some cameras still up, so I'll let you take the pictures. All right. So one thing we've launched since last year for the first time, we are again trying to involve as many people from the startup ecosystem together. We can't do it all by ourselves, and so we're opening up, created a mentorship program for those that have expertise in sales, marketing, business development, fundraising, to come and be a mentor for Startup World Cup platform, help our young entrepreneurs, help our startups to achieve their dreams and be mentors. And it is volunteer-based. However, we do offer special perks to our top mentors every year, so please check that out. And one other exciting thing we're launching, we're happy to share for the first time, we as Pegasus Tech Ventures have been co-hosting the Harvard Alumni Entrepreneurs Accelerator program for the past few years. And Harvard Alumni Entrepreneurs is extending through the Startup World Cup network a special discount to their educational materials. So if you're interested, please go check out the material as well. So now for the event today, we have 10 companies selected from 100+ applications that we received. They'll be presenting 3 minutes and followed by 2 minutes of Q&A with our distinguished judging panel. And so special thanks to our judges here today. Bill Bryant, returning judge from last year from Threshold, Rayfe, Maya, Summer Kim, and Mr. Takano from the first time in Japan. So special thanks again, and we look forward to you grilling the startups today. We have a lot of events, we have a lot of news, and so our team's busy actively updating our social media, so please follow and keep updated on the new upcoming events, wherever they might be. If you're interested in joining, please feel free to reach out. And before I wrap up, I want to show you a quick video of what last year's grand finale looked like.
Startup World Cup Grand Finale 2025. Who's excited to be here? Speakers, panel discussions, and pitch presentations, and of course the main event that we've all been waiting for to see which regional winner will walk away with the $1 million investment prize.
This is the 7th season of Startup World Cup. Special thanks to all of our sponsors worldwide. This will not be possible with the help of the regional partners we have in 130 countries and regions.
It is the moment we've all been waiting for. Grand prize winner who's going to walk away with $1 million. Core Shell Technologies from East Bay, California. Core Shell to the stage.
All right, thank you again. Hope you enjoy. Good luck, presenters. And now I want to invite our expert MC of Startup World Cup, my partner, Bill Reichert. Bill, come on up.
Thank you so much, John, and thank you all for being here. Looking forward to today's competition. So again, my name is Bill Reichert, and as John indicated, one of the titles I get to wear is I'm the Chief Evangelist for Startup World Cup, which is one of the more fun parts of being a venture capitalist, I guess. In any case, before we get started, I know our entrepreneurs over here are just anxiously waiting to get on stage, right? So, but I'd love it if I could ask the judges to briefly introduce yourselves to the rest of the audience here. Is that okay? Could you grab a mic and introduce yourself? And Mako, you want to go first?
Okay.
Okay, great.
Hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Makoto Takano. I'm from Japan. I'm also advisor to Pegasus Tech Ventures. I have many hats. First hat is I'm founder of Forbes Japan magazine, and secondly, I'm a GP of Japanese venture capital along with IDEO. Thank you.
Bill.
I'm Bill Bryant. I'm a retired general partner with Threshold Ventures, formerly Draper Fisher Jurvetson, where I worked with Tim for over a decade. I'm an investor in about 26 other venture funds as well, and spend about a third of my time on Kona and the rest of the time in Seattle.
Thank you, Bill. Summer.
Hi, I'm Summer Kim. I am a partner at StratMinds. We focus on early stage apply AI, and I specifically looking at AI and UX intersection. And previously I was a head of research at companies like WhatsApp and Roblox and Google. So I care a lot about customers, you guys, hint, hint. Anyway, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
And Maya, you need no introduction, but please introduce me.
Hello everyone, Maya Rogers, co-founder of Blue Startups, CEO of Tetris. And I love that our table this year, we all have Hawaii connections, right? We all part-time or from Hawaii, went to Iolani. Not me, but you'll see him. He looks like a Iolani guy.
And Rayfe.
All right, my introduction's done already, I guess. I'm Rayfe. I'm a partner at Geodesic Capital. Geodesic is a venture fund that has ties to both the US and Japan. I lead the early stage practice at the firm. And as Maya said, I was born and raised in Hawaii. I live in California now. Thank you.
Outstanding. Okay, judges, so are you guys ready? You guys are ready? All right, entrepreneurs, are you ready? All right, first up is Abra Hospitality, guest intelligence for luxury hotels. Presenting for Abra, Josh, co-founder. Take it away, Josh.
Hotels have always had a heart, but they've never had a brain. Every major industry where data is private and teams need unified context to act, there is a foundational intelligence layer, except for hospitality, a $5 trillion industry. Without unified intelligence, hotels are structurally incapable of increasing revenue per guest. The best way to increase guest lifetime value is to deliver better service. But without guest intelligence, the only way that they can do that is to hire more staff. And when they do that, the costs rise to a level that is unsustainable. And it doesn't actually solve the problem anyways, because they're operating with 10 different systems that are disconnected, and they're operating on a mountain of sticky notes. AI and robotics will inevitably revolutionize hospitality. But as they go to adopt this technology, they're running into the same challenges that they've ran into for decades. A lack of clean, unified, usable data. A lack of an intelligence layer to build a more intelligent future on top of. Why is there a reason that's... How's everybody doing out there? Awesome, thank you guys so much. So the question is not whether or not this intelligence layer will be built, it's who will build it first. Introducing Abra, the first AI brain for hospitality. Abra integrates with all the tools in the existing hotel tech stack, downloads the information that lives in the minds of every team member, and creates a unified institutional memory of every guest, and then uses that memory to orchestrate revenue-driving action across the entire operation. What does this actually look like for our hotel partners? A little girl shares with the bellman that she's missing her puppy. The bellman then picks up Abra and he says, Lucy in 212 is missing her puppy. Abra analyzes that information and provides a recommendation. In one click, that information is then created a task and a little stuffed animal is delivered to the girl's room. These moments turn guests into loyal guests who end up spending $50,000 to $100,000 in lifetime value. But Abra does so much more. It powers the entire operation. It is something that goes across from every department to every staff member and becomes the foundational layer that the entire hospitality business runs on. Once the data is unified, everything naturally builds on top. One of our hotel partners is seeing an additional $160,000 in revenue per month, and this is 3 times their comp set growth. Our initial market is luxury hotels, a $2 billion opportunity for Abra globally. Our customer base is growing rapidly. They're signing paid multi-year contracts, and we are now seeing inbound interest and enterprise conversations with Marriott, leading hotels of the world, and Relais and Chateau, each representing a multi-million-dollar opportunity for Abra. We have an incredibly unique founding team that is capable of capturing this massive enterprise opportunity. My co-founder Dana has spent the last 10 years leading operations teams for some of the best hotels in the world and provides an unparalleled market access as well as industry expertise. My other co-founder Paul has built enterprise AI infrastructure, and I spent the last several years selling enterprise AI deals. Let's make hospitality magic together.
Okay, judges, questions for Josh and for Abra Hospitality. Mako.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. I know that the hospitality area is very competitive. So what is the situation competition in that space?
Yeah, so what we're seeing in hospitality is that most people are focused on the workflow level. They're not focused on building the unified intelligence that can provide context-aware AI to deploy across the organization. This is the harder part, and this is what we're focused on.
Okay, Rayfe?
What's your business model?
It's a SaaS model today, but in the future, as we expand to being more of a platform, we anticipate that there's ways that we can toll booth that data out for those outbound agentic integrations that are part of the platform.
Bill, is your assumption that your high-end hotel clients are trying to deliver the same customer experience, or is there something that you're doing that individualizes and makes it specific to that hotel guest?
Yeah, so the part of the model is that we're able to sort of customize that to each individual property, understanding the unique nuances of the particular brand or that particular property.
Okay, Rayfe?
Help me understand why this hasn't been done before. Like, what's the tech that's enabling this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a few reasons. One is that this would be really hard to do without AI being at the level that it is today. And I think that there was a fundamental error that the industry made when they were first building the technology, which was organizing everything around the reservation and not the guest. And it's been really hard to break out of that paradigm, and now we finally have the opportunity to do that with the technology today.
I know some of the luxury hotels, because I've stayed there, have some AI agents and things like that are customizable. So what's the offering that's different that you're going to bring to a chain that already has maybe some kind of program?
Yeah, so it's really providing this back-end intelligence that will power all of those agents. So what we started finding is that our hotel partners were saying, you guys have all of our data. How can we build AI on top of this? Because we've never been able to do that before.
And we're out of time. So, thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you all.
Okay, Abra Hospitality. Okay. We're loving the energy in the room here. Thank you guys so much. So, next up is Indicio. Presenting for Indicio is Heather. Indicio is stopping deep fakes and identity fraud. So show us how you're going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. At Indicio, we are building the digital trust layer for the AI economy. With our verifiable credential technology, travelers can cross the border from their home, or you can share your authoritative financial information with no direct integration, no phoning home to the source of your data, and BYOB, bring your own biometrics. Digital fraud is costing the global economy $534 billion. The centralized identity model of scan a document, hold it in a database, hope it doesn't get breached, is actually a model of vulnerability. The time is now. The European Union is issuing digital identity wallets with verifiable credentials to its 450 million citizens this year. The US Genius Act puts the verifiable credential at the center of digital identity. At Indicio, our technology has the architecture that's post-quantum and encrypted, and it's ready for deployment today. Our customers include IDEMIA, who announced a partnership with us for KYC and financial services. CETA uses us to cross borders, so travelers create a verifiable credential, for instance, to cross the border in Aruba. Before you leave home, you provide your biometrics, and then 30 minutes to the beach from arrival. Secureport manages 450 million border crossings. Once again, travelers can cross the border from their house and expedited arrival. Our business model is pay as you prove. So issuers pay to issue credentials, verifiers pay to verify them. Credentials are held in your mobile devices. Last year, 1.2 million revenue. That was an 87% year-over-year growth. We're tracking to 3 million this year. We're holding a convertible note for 2.5 million. Our investors include CETA, NEC, Dai Nippon Printing. All of them were customers before they became investors in our company. The centralized identity model is lagging. Indicio replaces that. It's one system of verifiable credentials that allow companies, borders, enterprises to prove everything in travel, hospitality, and financial services and AI. I invite you to join us.
Thank you, Heather. Okay, judges, questions for Indicio? Bill.
We had a chance to speak earlier, but my question at that time was, your model is to charge tens of cents per verified identity. How does that become a venture scale business?
Right. So with the 3 verticals that we focus on, for instance, travel, you can use that same credential not only to cross the border, but for expedited check-in into hotels. They use that to help prevent chargeback fraud. You can use that same credential to connect to your baggage. So one credential can be issued once and used multiple and unlimited amount of times. Same thing with financial services, issued once. It can be used every single time you log into your bank account, for instance.
But you have to get to like many hundreds of millions of transactions in order to generate.
Exactly, and verifiable credentials, when you have geographic regions like the European Union and citizens all using a credential to start doing login, to exchange their information, you think how often people use their driver's license, national citizen identity card, or passport. That's how often they'll be using a verifiable credential, and each time that's a transaction fee.
Okay, Rayfe.
Heather, can you tell us a little bit more about the team?
About the team. Our team is actually the ones who created the standards and the original code bases of this technology going back 15 years. We are advisors around the world. We have over 250 years of experience, and our first customers all came to us because of our global reputation and thought leadership in this technology. There's hands down no better team in the world with this depth of experience in the technology.
Summer.
How many customers do you have right now?
We have 25, and the main thing is like a CETA, Secureport, and NEC, they are distribution channels, so Secureport offers boarding management for over 19 nations. CETA connects all the airports, airlines, and governments.
So we're out of time, but thank you, Heather, and thank you, Indicio. Okay, next up. Next up is Encore with Us, or should I have said Encore? I don't know. Encore with Us. Speaking for the presenting for Encore is Jung-Hoon. So take it away, Jung-Hoon.
Imagine you've just landed your dream job in Tokyo, but you can't find a place to live except expensive Airbnb. That's what over 200 million people feel it every year. Hundreds of millions cross border yearly, but housing remains massive problem. This is $113 billion vacuum market. In Asia alone, $23 billion in midterm housing demand is trapped behind. No solution inside. Let me introduce Encore Stay. It's a midterm rental platform connecting expats with verified local landlord, fully digitized from search to move in. It is the midterm rental platform, housing platform, filling the gap between expensive Airbnb and inaccessible local realtors. Let numbers speak for themselves. In just 1 year, we made 300% growth. We hit $10 million. We are on a $20 million GMV run rate, making us Korea's #1 expat midterm rental platform. How make it possible? AI. Everyone is talking how to make AI service, but we focus on how to make money, how to make growth with AI. With the same headcount, we are handling 10x GS volume and 6x GMV. So beyond this, compared to Q1 last year, beyond this operational efficiency, we are making AI agent designed for our host for their operation. Now our proven Korea model goes to Asia, and same problem, same pain point, and same playbook, bigger market. We are targeting digital nomad, and they are moving from city to city every few months, but they have same problems in finding a house. So we will make network effect for them to be locked in our platform across borders. We will conquer Asia. Then we will targeting those moving from Asia to West, to the US, Europe, Australia. We will connect East and West. It's my great honor to declare this vision here in Hawaii at EMW 2026, where East meets West. So through this global expansion, we will sprint toward $103 million in revenue in 5 years' time. And we are raising $7 million to bridge scale, like Chris said. So we are expert in PropTech, also AI, and hospitality. So I will be sitting in there. So if you are interested, please come and talk to me. And then I will send you one pager and our full IR deck. Thank you.
Okay, questions for Encore with us? Okay, Mako?
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. But your team looks like mostly Korean, right?
Right.
And then how can you be confident to expand into globally?
We have a host already in Korea, but they have 5 locations in Japan. So we will fully digitize their rental process online first. That's how we go to Japan. And then we'll go to the other markets like that.
So are you hiring some kind of a country manager in every location?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to hire a country manager, like a Japanese manager or US manager?
Oh, yeah.
Locally?
Yeah, from Tokyo first. Yeah.
Local talent in each geography, right?
Right.
That's the question. Okay, Summer.
So you have a lot of customers right now. What makes this a real must-have for them right now?
I'm sorry?
What makes this a real must-have for your current customers?
A real must-have?
Must-have.
Must-have.
Right. That is
painkiller, not vitamin. Okay.
Okay. So like for digital nomad, like they move city, they work and they enjoy, but they move city and they have to find a room again. And if they can book a room like in one platform, that can be our must-have thing.
Okay, Rayfe.
What's preventing the short-term rental marketplaces from entering the midterm space?
I'm sorry, my English is not good, sorry again.
Why can't the short-term rental marketplaces like Airbnb enter the midterm space like what you're
Yeah, that is actually maybe in many countries because of the regulation. Here in Korea, like you need a license to do Airbnb. But mostly, like if you stay over 1 month, like paying for like hotel and Airbnb is too expensive. And some people just want to give a room like at a reasonable price, but not like Airbnb. So the market is divided very clearly.
Okay, thank you much. We're out of time, but thank you so much for Encore with us. Okay. All right, the judges are marking their score sheets, right? You're all good marking your score sheets? And next up, we have Bays. Presenting for Bays, we have a thrilled audience here. His co-founder John, who Bays is doing AI-powered loyalty and growth for franchise brands. So, John, take it away.
There are four.
Okay, Joe, just wait a half second. I want to make sure, Summer, you're ready? Everybody's ready? Okay, let's go.
Okay. There's 4 million franchise locations around the world, and over 800,000 in the US alone. These are some of the most data-rich businesses on the planet. But there's a gap, a massive gap between the data collected at the corporate level and the tools available to the store owners. They're stuck using legacy corporate tech that doesn't provide any insight into their customers or the levers to drive growth for the business. So we're using data at scale to drive impact for these businesses. I led the machine learning growth team for Microsoft 365, and my co-founder, Kristen, ran Azure IoT. We're now delivering decades of experience to empower franchisees to be able to unlock the data they already have and provide the capabilities they need. Baze is not a dashboard, it's an AI-powered growth engine. Think of it as the layer that sits on top of the existing tech. It's a system that both drives down the cost and increases the revenue, the two metrics that every business owner tracks. There's a lot of other products and services in this space. But while they focus on corporate consistency, Baze learns from the unique patterns and the personality of every individual store. We boost the top line revenue by mapping the neighborhood behaviors to understand what actually drives engagement and retention of the customers. To lower the costs, we identify operational efficiencies that the store managers just don't see. And we don't just provide insights. We trigger alerts and provide recommendations into the actions they need to take to improve the performance within their business. And the opportunity is now, because with rising food costs and labor costs, it's the business owners that are feeling the pressure and demanding the solutions. We're currently at 120K ARR. We're live in over 50 stores, and we have another 130 locations on signed LOIs. For our go-to-market, we get to take advantage of this incredible referral network from large, multi-unit franchisees. And as we do, we trigger network effect, where every new data point from every new store improves the predictive models. We're Baze, and we drive growth for store owners. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. So, Mako, or Bill, you go.
I'm not sure I understood the innovation you're bringing to loyalty and operational excellence within these franchise owners. What's different?
Yeah, it's really about understanding the unique behaviors within the store. So we're understanding what surrounds the store, what impacts for smarter scheduling and forecasting for the operational side of it, and then understanding who their customers are. And that's providing proactive outreach and different features to the franchise owners.
Okay, Summer?
You mentioned you're in 50 plus stores. What are the early feedback that you get from your customers so far?
The big part on the operational side is around the scheduling. We're able to do a lot more predictive scheduling of what's actually happening. And then as far as driving the revenue, it's been taking sometimes just a single large order and turn that into a repeat customer in some of these franchise brands.
Okay. Rayfe?
Can you talk more about the network effects and how you're driving those? And are those regionally done? Is that done locally, regionally, or is it by brand of franchise?
Yeah, it's a multi-tiered model. So there's things that happen across all the stores, then we go down to a certain region, and then in certain neighborhoods, understanding whether the stores are close to a university, what the impact is. The amazing thing about building a company here in Hawaii is the diversity of the stores that we have, just 10-minute drive away. I can go from residential to commercial to tourism to an army base, and that's so different. And that's what I talk about the personality of each store and how we build the models around that to build things that are for the store manager, not just at the corporate level.
Okay, any other quick question? I think, well, time's up. Okay, time is up. Hey, John, thank you so much for Bays. Okay, and so the judges are marking their score sheets, and while they're doing that, we're going to bring up our next contestant. Next up is Stacklist. Presenting for Stacklist is co-founder Kyle, turning scattered links into a social curation network. You're going to explain what that means, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so I want to start off with a little story. I fell in love with the internet in the late 90s. I bought my first domain name, which was zipzap.com. I actually sold that in high school for $3,000. And then I built my first website, and I was just enamored. And it was right around that time that you had people saying things like, what is the internet anyway? And the inventor of Ethernet saying this is going to crash spectacularly. But you had the optimists that I sided with, which were, we're going to take stores and commerce and we're going to put them online, which was just so novel. And if you think about it, we did that quite well. But what we ended up building was millions of siloed ecosystems that are not interoperable and don't talk to each other. And so you have to bolt APIs on top of all of them to see if they can talk to each other. And this was not built for AI. So what we have built is the discovery network for AI. So we're going to start with a card. This could be a place or a product or a person. And for the user, this is simple, easy to share, easy to save. But what AI sees is rich historical metadata and where this has been and who owned it and the confidence score on it. And then you start to group those in themes, my favorite coffee shops in Waikiki. And that metadata gets even richer and the discoverability gets even better. And then what you end up getting is a hub. It's a place that the website used to be the front door for a business, but now a business's front door is also LinkedIn and Substack and TikTok and Instagram and everything else. But here you've got all of your content that is both searchable and savable by humans, but also discoverable by AI. So we built the network. We have 90 paying businesses. We have 15,000 customers, users on the platform. And we're focused on real estate as our ICP. In March, we actually signed a deal for $2,000 a month to bring on 160 real estate agents. We have 300 more in the pipeline. So in November, we 10x'd to $4,000 a month in revenue. We actually went heads down, realized what we needed to build, came back up, 2x'd in March, and we're just shy of 10,000 MRR. And we are targeting 25 to 35 by August, in which we will open a $2 million pre-seed round. We have 17 months worth of runway. I think the biggest thing that I'm excited about is just knowing that at some point in the near future, everybody here is going to ask Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini or something a question, and either the reference or the answer will end up being a piece of Stacklist content. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Okay, question?
Can you tell us about your team, please?
About the what, sir?
Your team.
Yeah, so my co-founder, Martina, who's the CTO, built everything from scratch. And then we have a concierge team. And so one of the things that we do is, unlike traditional SaaS where you sign up and you have an empty account, we actually have the concierge team go and build out your profile. And then we run both analytics and GEO reports on where the opportunity is for GEO discovery. And then that usually ends up turning into service revenue.
Okay, Bill?
Who do you see building these stack lists, and what's their motivation to do that?
Good example why we're focused on real estate agents. Right now, the traditional way for agents to market is an old website, a newsletter, and an Instagram, which you're only relevant 5% of the time. But if you could take all of your local knowledge, like the restaurants, painters, carpenters, interior designers, and put them on there, it becomes useful 100% of the time, as well as discoverable by AI.
Can you talk a little bit about your competitors?
it's not really one-to-one. I think, right now the problem is all of these siloed, I have Linktree for this, I have Notion for this, I have Squarespace for this, I need Google Analytics on this, and it's kind of all over the place. And that's sort of the problem, and that's why AI has to try and get into all of these siloed ecosystems and stitch all this together versus finding curated stacks by humans, and then those get served up as the answer.
Okay, any other questions from the judges? So, all right. Kyle, thank you so much for StackList.
Thank you.
Give it up for StackList. Okay, all right, judges, and now next up is Ever Treasure. Presenting for Ever Treasure is Everine, co-founder. Ever Treasure, okay. Ever Treasure is the world's first global bank for cultural assets from South Korea.
South Korea, Seoul. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, take it away.
Imagine buying a share of the next BTS concert or a blockbuster film like Dune 3 as a shareholder, becoming a shareholder, just as easily as you buying a share of Apple or Amazon. I'm Every Joe, and at Yet2, we are turning this imagination into the world's first cultural financial infrastructure. So the cultural market is $3.2 trillion beast, and yet it's stuck in the dark ages like 19th century. So artists up to 90% they give up because they cannot sustain themselves, and the investors have almost zero access to the market. Why? Because art and contents have been too subjective to value until today. So we opened Yet2, an investment platform for content and artwork. We don't just show art and content. We make art and content investable and liquid for everyone. How do we make this possible? Through our ecosystem loop. So we have 2 platforms up and running, backed by our core technology related to AI and blockchain. So let me explain each will. Everlink is a LinkedIn for producers and artists. So on Everlink, in order to put as many projects as possible onto Yet2, various artists can be connected through Everlink with the producers and the global projects to sustain themselves and by making money and IPs. And ValQ is our AI-based IP evaluation system. Our AI analyzes thousands of data points from social trends to historical ticket power to predict the profitability of the content. So in order to make the whole ecosystem work, we need a transparency. So we built Everseal, which is a Ripple-based authentication protocol. And here you can track down every history of the IP rights, creating the digital registry so that financial market or investor can trust. Others just focus on selling high-priced artwork, and they become asset management companies. But we do focus on the whole ecosystem. So here, I'm an attorney and a former banker with 10 years of experience, and with our 20 years of experience, CTO from Samsung to Nexon, and our content expert and art experts from Hollywood to Korea. We are the perfect team to make this work. We are raising $3 million this round, and we have already secured a strategic investor in top-tier Korean bank, and we are in discussions with the global VC now, and we will be listed on the global STO exchange by 2028 and surpassing $100 million in transaction. We are leading K-pop concert in Shanghai and leading in the films and musicals now. So in 19th century, gold was the asset, but on the 21st, it's culture. I want you to join our journey together, and let's make art finance. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ever Treasure. Okay, questions from the judges, Mako.
Hi, thank you. How many clients do you have, and also what is the traction now?
We have 3,000 investors at this moment, and I'm sorry, what was the question next?
Traction.
Tractions of $3 million for now, the trading volume until now. Yeah, and we have an ROI of 11 to 29%.
Is the $3 million, is that the value of the assets or protected?
Trading
or is
volume.
That
trading volume.
Volume, right.
YouTube,
so it's not your economics.
Yes, it's a revenue. It's not a revenue. Revenue is from our commission, so it's 10% out of the trading volume.
Okay, great. Just wanted to make sure we were clear on that. Okay, judges, other question? Bill?
How's the value of an asset determined?
How's the value of the asset? Determined by AI valuation, we need quantitative points because for the artwork, actually in European countries and America, the first top tier banks, they already use the artworks and they can take as a collateral and then they can evaluate it with the quantitative points, and we use the qualitative points on that, so we evaluate artworks and movies with the points.
Okay, Summer?
Can anybody join the LinkedIn for artists that you mentioned? Is it a prerequisite, or how is it signing up?
Who? I'm sorry, which one?
The LinkedIn for artists that you mentioned.
LinkedIn, everyone, like every artist or the association, they can register their profile, like LinkedIn.
Okay, and then currently how many users do you have?
Yeah, we do. We have like 10,000 artists and the producers and the galleries, they can come up to make their own profile.
Rayfe?
And is the artwork exclusive to your platform and marketplace only, or can they?
No, it's not exclusive because we want to open the market to the individual investors and open to everyone. So we don't exclusively hold the artwork. But while we are fundraising the artwork, we do.
Okay, great. Time's up. Thank you so much. Ever treasure. Okay, the judges are marking their score sheets. The calculators are collecting the score sheets so that we can tabulate. And so while we're waiting on that, next up from the beautiful island of Oahu comes Aloha Carbon, presented by the co-founder Joelle. All right, Joelle, take it away.
Thank you, Bill. Aloha, I'm Joelle Simone-Pietri. I'm going to introduce you to Aloha Carbon, our innovations to make renewable natural gas at scale. Now, renewable natural gas can be used for many things. One of them is for marine fuel. The International Maritime Organization in 2020 started mandating sulfur emissions reductions from global shipping. This led many ship owners to invest in liquefied natural gas conversions for their vessels. That includes 2 out of the 3 shippers serving Hawaii. Coming up next will actually be greenhouse gas emissions reductions, which could start as early as next year for the largest vessels operating globally. Recent events, of course, have actually accelerated the desire to diversify away from fossil fuel, and especially from the Middle East and petroleum. But the problem is that your marine fuel options get really slim as you go greener. The other problem that we're tackling is the amount of waste that is landfilled every year. It's over 700 million tons in the USA alone. 2/3 of that is construction and demolition debris. Our solution is to apply these problems against each other. We take the waste from a port area and its surrounding community and use it to make fuel for that port and its surrounding community. Here's an example of renewable natural gas offers in the California market last year, and this is how much more renewable natural gas we can make from one location just by skipping the landfill and applying our Aloha Carbon process to actually make it directly from the solid waste. So this is how we actually make it a game changer for the marine fuel industry, by making fuel for a port, for the ships in the port, from the location around that same port. Our fuel in Hawaii is modeled to be 91% lower in greenhouse gas life cycle emissions than the natural gas sold in Hawaii today. And to get to this point, we've raised and deployed over $10 million in non-dilutive capital. We've completed 6 years of physical testing, including fully integrated processes from real-world waste off the truck here in Honolulu all the way to finished fuel. The marine fuel market that we could address is $140 billion alone, and that's just for marine fuel. There's, of course, data centers, electricity, lots of other users of gas, and including this hotel right here in Waikiki. Our growth model is to go where the ports, the people, and the waste are co-located, starting here in Honolulu in our home base, and then with a second project in Tacoma, Washington, where our renewable natural gas is most likely to go into Puget Sound Energy's marine LNG terminal. Our team has done this before. Combined, we've executed almost a dozen first-of-a-kind fuel, waste, and energy projects. These include the first sustainable aviation fuel plant in the world, the first sustainable aviation fuel plant in Hawaii, the first grid-scale solar plant in Hawaii, the first landfill gas-fired biodiesel plant in the USA, and more. The traction we're getting is from customers in the US and also Japan for fuel customers, waste customers, and also strategic financing and technology partners.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but we're out of time.
I'm on my last slide. We're raising $15 million to build a plant.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Joelle. All right, Maya.
You said you're raising $50 million. How much does it cost to make the second? Right, so you spent years and millions of dollars in Hawaii. So to go to the next location, how much would it cost in time and all of that to create the next place?
Okay, so it's structured finance for infrastructure, so a combination of debt and equity. We assume 30% equity, 70% debt. So $15 million just to build a plant in Hawaii. A full-scale low carbon plant is $400 million in capital cost, but $100 million a year in revenue.
Okay, so what does that mean in terms of when you can get to cash flow positive? I'm not cash flow, it's profitability.
Well,
when does your first plant get to profitability? What year?
Year 3,
Okay.
steady state operations.
Okay, okay. Other questions from the judges?
I just want to make sure I heard that right. You said 400 million per location in CapEx?
Yes, but don't worry. I know it's not coming all from venture capital.
Okay. And so could you talk a little bit more about your technology? And so what is unique about your technology compared to everybody else that is developing renewable natural gas from landfill?
Okay. So our intellectual property is around the management of the contaminants that come in with the trash and actually getting those out of the gas and then out of the fuel so that it ends up becoming just carbon and hydrogen, a hydrocarbon fuel.
Okay, great. Any other quick questions from the judges?
What's a comparable cost per gallon of marine fuel? The resulting, what does it cost versus?
It was on the slides. We're basically planning on pricing the same as other renewable natural gas today.
And what margin does that give you?
It's actually over 30% margin.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Aloha Carbon. Okay. All right, next up from the beautiful island of Okinawa, talk about, reaching all around the Pacific. Talalak Blue, presenting for Talalak Blue is Laszlo, who has developed an AI-powered bio-waste infrastructure for island economies. So, take it away, Laszlo.
Thank you so much. Aloha and konnichiwa, my name is Laszlo Yali. I'm a co-founder of Talalak Blue. We build AI-powered bioreactors for island economies to help transform organic waste into local value. We are located in Okinawa, where bio-waste treatment is very costly and feed is heavily imported. Unsurprisingly, Hawaii has the same problem. So it has to pay twice to import all the feed and food and then to get rid of the organic waste. There's also rising pressure on compliance to divert all that food waste, and also with the increasing price of landfill, local circular ecosystem is mandatory. So we solve this problem with an AI-driven circular ecosystem using insects, earthworms, and microalgae. So instead of treating all these residues as waste, we transform them into useful outputs, including fertilizer, feed-related products, and carbon emission reduction benefits. So it's a combination of biotech and AI, which makes the whole system measurable and repeatable. Our execution is very deliberate. We started with a proof of concept work in the Philippines, then we built the smart box in Okinawa that automates all the measurements of the bioreactor. This is a very important monitoring layer that collects all the data, which will enable full automation down the lane. So it will evolve the fully automated circular bioeconomy platform. We have early commercial and ecosystem traction. We built a pipeline of LOIs, MOUs, pilot projects, and we have accelerator validation through institutions like OIST Accelerator Program and KGAP Plus. We would like to convert this traction into enter the US market through Hawaii as our first market site. Our first beachhead market are island and coastal economies where the pressure is the highest. We are located in Okinawa, we are moving towards Hawaii and using that leverage to move into mainland Japan, APAC, and mainland USA. Hawaii is not the endpoint, but the first entry point. We can extend this model to Guam and American Samoa, Puerto Rico, US Virgin Islands, and later to the mainland. Our core team combines deep biotech and AI. Karim brings 15 years in biotech, microbiology, and marine biochemistry. I bring 15 years of AI, robotics, and computer vision. This is our second venture together. And today we have a three-part ask. We are fundraising, we are raising a seed round, we are looking for strategic partners, and we are also looking for introductions can unlock the market. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you, Laszlo. Okay, Rayfe.
What size and scale of a system have you built and proven today, and what are you looking to do with your pilot line?
So currently we have a prototype. The fully prototype will be able to process 1 ton per day BioWaste.
And Bill's going to want to know how much does a full-scale facility cost? Right, Bill? Isn't that what you're going to? Okay.
Yeah. We are modular, so it's up to you how large you want to build it up. It's up to your need.
Okay, give us a commercially viable facility cost.
The facility cost, so the installation per unit is 30K, and the subscription fee is 3,000. And it depends on how many tons of BioWaste you want to process.
So 30K is the capital cost?
Yes.
Okay, wow, all right.
How
Summer.
are you using AI? Like, how are you guys applying AI in all of this?
So the AI component is monitoring the system. So you need to understand whether the insects, the earthworms are thriving, whether you need to feed, adjust the feed material. So basically the whole data platform is a monitoring layer. It's a digital twin of the whole system.
Bill.
What insects are you using?
We are using mealworms and black soldier flies as a first stage, and the second stage is earthworms that can aerate the feed, and the last stage is microalgae where we can capture CO2.
Your competitors?
So this is a spectrum. One end is windrow composting, other is insect farm. We are in the middle. So we are very flexible and we can go either way.
And how do you think about long-term competitive advantage or defensibility?
The long-term flexibility?
Competitive advantage or defensibility? Like, is it in the data? Is it in the biology or the micro?
Yes, exactly. So it's the data. So we can process a very diverse input stream of waste.
Okay, I think time is up. But, okay, great. Laszlo, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Blue. All right. Oh my gosh, we're coming down to the last couple of entrepreneurs. How time flies when you're having fun. Judges, you doing okay? All right, good. Okay, so next up is Vana M. Presenting for Vana M is Dr. Sahar Ayachi. Vana M does high-performance semiconductor thin films. All right, you guys ready for that? Here we go. All right, take it away.
Thank you very much. A lot of beautiful AI going on, but I would like to flip the coin with you and look at the hardware. We are currently living in the AI generation, and all the AI systems and softwares that we're trying to develop are great and all, but the reality is that the hardware that we currently have is not able to keep up with the pace of development of the software. And this is mainly bottlenecked by the bulk components inside of the hardware. If we look at a couple numbers, almost 200% of system lifespan reduction is caused by bulk failure. And in quantum systems, for each dollar you spend on energy, 40% of it is just wasted on bulk overheating. So what we're having here is 20th century hardware that's trying to keep up with 21st century innovation, and that will not go far for long. So the alternative has to be replacing these inefficient bulk components with better performing, more efficient and easier to integrate next generation thin films. Now the problem that we face becomes foundries, because everybody's trying to run this race. And so foundries are facing high demand for thin films, and it becomes particularly difficult to source specialized next generation thin films, especially in small quantity and for prototyping. And if there is no prototyping, then there is no innovation. And this is where we come in as Vanam, being a next generation thin film foundry, providing the solution to improve or to be able to improve this hardware and to allow our fellow innovators to run crazy with AI and system ideas. We have developed and patented an AI-backed development process that allows us to efficiently manufacture custom, customer-specific, and not yet commercialized advanced thin films that allow all these system efficiencies that we aim to achieve. Our business model is three-tiered. We clearly provide volume manufacturing, but we also do prototyping and pilot fabrication in small batch. We also do R&D and co-development for material engineering and process design. And our major project right now is to develop the key thin films for a next generation photonic integrated chip. So this is our photonics, the quantum photonics portfolio. And this next generation PIC will have a larger market and scalable opportunities that it can integrate and improve. Traction, so we have been established in 2022. We have our foundry in Seoul, South Korea with our pilot lines already established. We have a large portfolio of about 40 materials, more than 20 paying customers last year, 23 patents, more than 3 million in non-dilutive funding. And we are targeting, or we are raising for Series A, targeting $5 million to expand our operations and to open our first US-based foundry. And last but not least, our management team. We are 4 PhDs in semiconductor thin films and or devices, which gives us the expertise to run such a foundry. But we also have a very nice team of junior researchers with the right specialized talent. Thank you very much. I hope you join us in this ride to improve the hardware for the software. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we got questions here from the judges. Mako.
Hi, thank you. So I think this space seems to be a little crowded. So how do you differentiate your company from competitors?
How do we differentiate our company? So the differentiation here is twofold, and they are related. First of all, our company was based on the technology that was developed by our CEO in developing in a certain way to deposit the thin films. And then this allows us to develop the next, not yet commercialized thin films that have proven performance but are not in market yet. And the process in a one-time lab and a process for mass fabrication is not the same. So we are differentiated by our technology, but also by the product that we provide.
But is there any possibility that a larger company, established company can get into the same space?
Yes, they can, but it's very difficult to dabble into these things. A lot of the materials that we're working with are still at development level, and we are developing them. And usually foundries don't want to develop, they just want to mass produce.
Okay, other questions? Rayfe?
Can you talk about how much capital this company needs long term as you continue to build out fabs and foundries and scale up?
Yeah, so I can give you an example of the 5 million that we're raising. We are expecting about 2 to 2.5 in capex for it. And this comes from already experience by developing and starting from nothing with our infrastructure and deposition equipment to reach pilot level.
Okay, Maya?
Are all your current customers in Korea right now, the 20?
Most of them are in Korea, but we're starting to have traction in the US. We have 2 industries and 1 university.
Last quick question. The semiconductor industry is notoriously hesitant to adopt new technologies that aren't proven. How long is it going to take you to win design wins?
Until the hardware manufacturers come to me and I tell them I told you so.
Okay. All right, thank you so much for that one. All right, Vanna, let's give it up for Vanna. All right. All right, judges. All good. And oh my gosh, I can't believe it. This is our last contestant. Oh my gosh. So next up, and last but certainly not least, Olelo Intelligence from the beautiful island of Oahu. Presenting is Miki, who co-founded, who's doing AI voice analytics to help auto shops and others upscale their revenues. All right, so take it away, Miki.
Thank you. A woman named Sheila calls an auto repair shop. Her transmission just failed. She's panicked. She doesn't know how she's getting to work Monday, and she doesn't know how much it's going to cost to fix. The advisor quotes $6,000. That's it. No empathy, just a number. She hangs up and calls the next shop, and management never knows. 1.8 million service companies or service businesses in America depend on live conversations for every high dollar transaction. That's a $10 billion market in the US alone. As a Fortune 500 technology executive and CTO, I built enterprise voice AI before ChatGPT existed. My co-founder led billion-dollar sales teams. We created Olelo, a revenue intelligence operating system for the trades, because the fixers in our everyday lives don't get the technology they deserve. With Olelo, the shop gets Sheila back. Within a minute, the manager gets a text. A $6,000 job just walked, call her back, here's how to close it. Sheila gets a call back, and the manager acknowledges her stress and offers her financing options. Sheila books the job, and she's driving her car to work on Monday. We don't just analyze calls, we recover revenue, $10,000 to $24,000 a month from a $450 subscription. Our engine maps 250 behavioral markers across 250,000 real calls. It knows that 15 seconds spent on empathy nearly doubles conversion. And our competitor starts at 0. Our autonomous agents hunt for every walked job, every new opportunity. It triggers intervention and then helps close deals. They self-heal for accuracy continuously. In under a year, we have 108 shops on our platform. That's $422,000 of committed ARR. Every one of those shops came through referral, none have canceled. And we're in design partnerships now in roofing and home health services. And every one of those 108 shops and more get more valuable over time. They land at a core $450 subscription, and through premium services as well as managed services, each of those shops can get up to $1,700 per month per location. We're building for every service trade in North America, one deep vertical at a time. When every electrician, plumber, the HVAC tech, mechanic, the backbone of the American economy has the same intelligence as the Fortune 500, they don't just survive, they thrive. Thank you.
Okay, Bill, you ready to go?
Sure. As you go from service market to service market, what kind of training is involved in the new, like, HVAC or?
Yeah. Okay, so the question is, what training is involved with moving from vertical to vertical? So my agents listen and has a taxonomy extraction for all the calls that are in HVACs. We absorb all of that information as well as the operating scorecards of the new vertical, and with that we're able to create its own vertical taxonomy. 80% of our engine is reusable, and that's what we're testing in roofing right now, that we can absorb all of those calls, turn it into a continuous motion of understanding and learning that industry, and then putting our engine on it to basically get the understanding from all the calls coming in.
Okay. Rayfe?
Have you been able to drive sort of network effects through all the different service providers?
Yeah, great question. So it's interesting that the calls coming in reflect what's happening in the American economy right now. Last July, we knew that the calls showed that warranties were the best way to overcome pricing objections in auto. Now it is financing options. That same phenomenon is actually happening in roofing right now and HVAC technologies. So we're able to understand and see what's happening in the global consumer market, what they're willing to buy and what types of objections that are good for handling them, and apply them across all of the different verticals.
Okay. And I noticed, Summer, go.
So I saw your the main C level. Can you tell us a little bit more about your team?
Yes.
Real quick.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
I have 5 AI engineers that's working with me. We just hired a head of sales operations, my co-founders in sales. We have a head of marketing and 2 SDRs. And we are building our sales team now to increase and fully deploy our go-to-market strategy.
Thank you, Miki. All right, with that, oh, little intelligence. Okay, and so now the judges are busy finishing up their... Where's my mic? There we go, thank you, okay. We're done with the pitches today. I want everybody here to give a rousing round of applause for the entrepreneurs. Great job, entrepreneurs. That was extraordinary. And then, now that they're done scoring, a rousing round of applause for the judges. That is a really, believe it or not, this is a really tough job. And so now, what we're going to do is the judges are going to retire and they are going to confer. Our tabulators are busy tabulating the score sheets to find out what the judges thought of each of our contestants today. And so here are all of our presenters. We don't have a crowd voting system, do we? Nope, okay. So we're not going to do that. That's fine, that's fine. So the judges are retiring, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring a panel on stage to talk about the Asia Pacific region and what is going on in this part of the world, what it looks like, where it's come from, what it looks like today, and where it is going. And so now we're going to get some more chairs on the stage. I'm going to have the honor of moderating a panel. And where is our panel? Are they here? I got one of them, Miki. All right, and there we got, whoops, wow, all right. I'd love to help you guys, but the union won't let me, so. Okay. And so while the panel here is assembling, let me tell you what we're going to talk about to sort of wrap up this 2 days of discussion around East meets West and around the idea of celebrating innovation around the world, which is the mission of Startup World Cup. So I loved Tay's presentation earlier today. I don't know if Tay is still in the room, but one of the things that I truly believe that entrepreneurship is a global tribe unto itself. That if you go around the world, you go around the Pacific, you meet an entrepreneur from Vietnam or from Vancouver or from Japan or from San Diego or from Hawaii, those entrepreneurs have more in common in terms of mindset and attitude and character than they are differentiated by their geographic background and their country of origin. Each of them, I believe, brings their culture to the table. And that adds much more color and interest and excitement to the whole process of innovation that we are going through as a society. And so let's bring our panel on stage. Am I missing some panelists here? Okay. Rich Robinson, are you in the room? Guy Kawasaki, are you in the building? That's Guy walking in. All right. Okay. All right, and where's Rich? We're missing Rich? Rich, are you here? Paging once or twice? Okay. So, Guy Kawasaki is in the room. All right, thank you, Guy, for showing up. All right, and let's get Miki and Suzanne on stage here, and we'll kick off the discussion here. Okay. Hey, Guy. Hey, can you just? Oh, but you need to. So I hope all of you had the opportunity to hear Guy yesterday, and now we're going to have the opportunity to hear more of him today. So what I'd like to do is kick off. We sometimes refer to him as the late Guy Kawasaki, but he's doing fine. He's doing just fine, surfing and podcasting, all good. All right, team. Okay, quick introductions from, everybody knows kind of each of you already, but I still would like to get a quick introduction, starting with you, Miki.
My name is Miki Hardisty. I'm with Olelo Intelligence, and I just pitched, but I will tell you that we do voice AI and analytics revenue, being a revenue intelligence operating system for the trades.
So give us a little bit more context in terms of sort of why you have a perspective on the whole East meets West, on the whole sort of Asia Pacific geographic context.
I am a technology founder building in Hawaii, which is a bridge between East and West. I have worked in Japan, I have lived in Japan, and I've also worked and lived on the US mainland, and I'm choosing to build my company here in Hawaii and within Hawaii's ecosystem.
Thank you for that. Okay, Miki, all right. And Suzanne.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Basalla. I'm with Geodesic Capital. My colleague Rayfe was one of the judges earlier. I've spent most of my career on the US-Japan relationship and looking at the US-Japan relationship in different contexts. I really believe that the US-Japan relationship is the core of the Asia-Pacific region, and also so critically important to the US and Japan national security and economic security.
Very good. Thank you, Suzanne. And Guy. So give us a little of your journey, your arc, in terms of what has formed and shaped your perspective on...
I started in Kalihi Valley and I ended up in Silicon Valley, so...
From valley to valley.
It was quite a journey. Yeah, my background is primarily Apple Computer. I started my career really in the jewelry business, believe it or not, and I went to Apple. I was Apple software evangelist. My job was to convince people to write Macintosh software and hardware. And I had the pleasure of starting a company with Bill. We did some venture capital. And today I am the chief evangelist of Canva, which is a product that I hope most of you use. And I have a podcast called Remarkable People, and that's about it. This guy's sneaking on here. And I just want to tell you one story. So about 12 years ago, I had to go to a pitch contest in Las Vegas, and I had to pitch Canva. And I fucking lost. And who would you rather be, Canva or the other people who won? Yeah.
So the question is really, was it a Canva problem or was it a Guy Kawasaki problem?
Obviously, because of Canva's great success, it was a Guy Kawasaki problem. Yeah, I freely admit that.
That was a bold admission. So thank you, Guy. So Rich, talk about the late Rich Robinson, joins us on stage here today. Rich has a very colorful background. Give us a little bit of your background in terms of your relationship to this Asia-Pacific world that we are living in here in Hawaii.
The late Rich Robinson, the rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. Hello, Honolulu. Nice to see you, Rich Robinson. I spent 30 years in Asia, 25 in China. Now I'm based in the Hawaii of Asia, Bali, Indonesia. And during that time, I've done 9 startups. And I am also a professor of entrepreneurship, if that's even possible, at Peking University. And I made about 100 angel bets. And I can honestly say after 25 years in China, China's in my heart and in my blood. That's mostly because of the air pollution. Thank you, good night. Tip your wait staff. And I'm writing my first book called At the Speed of China. Nothing's faster than the speed of light except the speed of China. And I held a roundtable yesterday, and I'm very happy and honored to be here, especially this guy right here. I use Art of the Start all the time, and you're a living legend. So boom, Guy Kawasaki, ladies and gentlemen, remarkable indeed.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so, team, it's a pretty dynamic and in many ways uncertain era. And what we've seen is an era that went from what appeared to be accelerating globalization and cooperation and integration around the Pacific Rim to now, I don't know, is it disintegration or deglobalization? I'd be interested in your perspectives on whether you think we're going through a fundamental shift, or is it a lull until we get to another different, beautiful future? Guy, you wanted to chime in on this?
Well, in my humble opinion, I think if you set off with the goal of handing China the leadership of the world, you could not do a better job than what we're doing right now. And it's like, let's just discourage immigrants, let's discourage refugees, let's discourage first generation from coming here, let's shut down our educational institutions, let's make people scared to even get a visa to study here. I don't know, the people in China, they must be celebrating right now.
So Rich?
Yeah. I mean, China just continues unabated. They have their history and their ideology and their work ethic, and they want to continue to sell to the rest of the multiverse, and they're very happy to take that position. And generative AI, of course, has taken over the zeitgeist. We've talked a lot about agentic AI, but I believe embodied AI, we're talking about robots. Probably by 2030, there will be millions, tens of millions. By 2035, billion or billions. By 2040, more humanoids than humans. And 30% of the economy is virtual, 70% is physical. So by getting into embodied AI, you're effectively tripling the economy for artificial intelligence. And who is going to mop that up? Who's going to dominate that? And right now, with phones, drones, EVs, China is very much queued up, along with rare earths and magnets and all the and all the manufacturing.
So Rich, yes,
I'm just a reality shill. I'm neither
okay, but are you saying
nor a panda slugger? Right, I'm a reality shill.
I got that. Are you saying there are no blemishes in the Chinese?
Oh, no, okay. No, certainly not unblemished.
Can I ask you a question? So if you had to pick a major today, would you major in computer science or Mandarin?
It's funny you say that. I justified my trip here because son number one's at University of Hawaii, and he's studying Egyptology. Because I was like, let's focus on liberal arts where you can have critical thinking and writing abilities. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Humanities.
There you go. Yes.
Okay.
Those are the things that are going to continue to make us human.
Okay.
And in talking about the things that, are we, more of a global society or being more community-centered with the advent of AI and how much information is out there and how much can be deep-faked. And ads are on all social platforms. What people are going to do is we've gone all the way to one side of the guardrail on producing content on AI. We're going to go on completely on the other side of the guardrail with Gen A and Gen Z not believing and trusting in those social and informational outlets. They're going to actually form their own central communities, which is more centrally located and not global. So that's where I kind of think we're going to be headed in terms of global versus, more familial.
So what does that mean for the evolution of our economies here in the US, in Japan, Korea, China? What does that mean for the evolution of our societies and our economies?
Yeah, I think that it means that a couple things right now, advertisements and a lot of the monetization of social funds, people will trust them less. And they're going to be more towards the economies are going to be built more, this is my thesis, on small and medium businesses in local communities, and they're going to embrace their local communities. And each individual economy globally will also embrace their individual communities. I think just generally with that distrust, of where we are today, they have to do that because we don't have a lot of trust in what's happening globally.
So Suzanne, love to hear your perspective on, this whole Japan.
Right. I think, as I'm listening to this conversation and kind of taking it up a lot more of a geopolitical level, what I think is happening and I'm optimistic about is I see Japan, which I see as very like-minded and a lot of the same values that the US has had for the last decades, is really kind of quietly and significantly taking more of a leadership role, and I think is going to be in a position to help shape some of the AI approaches in terms of safety and ethics and guidelines, and also work closely with the United States and other countries in the region on some of these physical AI and really kind of using some of the innovation that's still so strong in Japan.
So everybody's trying to reshore now. I mean, Japan is trying to reshore, US is trying to reshore. China is exshoring out of, sort of geopolitical reasons down to Vietnam and to Southeast Asia and elsewhere. What do you think do we think that this movement is going to make the world more stable or less stable going forward? Rich?
So, people that I know in China who are ex-shoring, they're kind of quietly pulling stuff back, or they're ex-shoring things that are lawn furniture or textiles or simple things. Tim Cook was on a TV show and they said, this is a decade ago, you're in China because it's cheap. And he's like, that cheap train, that's in the rearview mirror a long time ago. I'm in China because in this TV studio, you could fit every tool and die expert in America in the studio, and in China it would take 2 stadiums. And those tool and die experts are so critical for sparking up and quickly shifting any sort of assembly line that expertise coupled with the proximity is just absolutely critical for that kind of high-end innovative manufacturing.
Right, but he's moving out of China. He's moving an increasing percentage.
Good luck, though.
Right?
Is he really, though? He says he's starting to, but the vast majority of Foxconn manufacturing is still done in China, and it's going to be that way for a while. It's a little bit of theater. And listen, once again, neither a panda hugger nor a panda slugger. It's just the China offering for that proximity, especially in the Greater Bay Area, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Hong Kong, is so compelling that it's really difficult to extricate yourself from there. Unless you have somebody, maybe like, what's happening with SpaceX, or creating a terafab, creating something independent.
So is there any hope for the U.S. and Japan in all of this? And I want to throw in Korea. Too. I mean, or are we all doomed to lose to China?
I think that Hawaii and California and Oregon and Washington should join Japan and secede from the United States. That's my solution.
Okay, all right.
I like that.
And I'm just, I do know there are a lot of people here who speak Japanese, but ironically, Guy Kawasaki, you do not speak Japanese, rather.
No, I don't speak Mandarin, I don't speak Japanese. I'm bilingual though, I speak English and Pidgin.
Okay, okay. All right, so given that that's a somewhat unrealistic forecast, possibly.
You never
know. You never know. But what is the upside? Again, we have a lot of innovation here. And a lot of energy here in Hawaii, connecting East and West. What do you think is the opportunity for us to catch up to, I guess we have to say catch up to China, if not sustain our economies in the face of the Chinese economic giant. I don't think, Miki, I'm concerned about, I hear your point about trust. I'm not sure that that's going to enable us to resurge our economies. But Suzanne, what have you seen?
Well, I'm still optimistic about the future, and I think that's because I see that there are some issues out there. Are a lot of issues going on, obviously. I'm not going to say there aren't, but I think there's a lot of innovation that can come company to company, from entrepreneurs, from people, and a lot of that innovation is still continuing on and will continue on. Japan has great assets in terms of precision, its advanced manufacturing, its materials, its robotics expertise. The US still brings software expertise, risk-taking, speed, and I think as we work together, there's a lot of opportunities to co-create and build technology together. So I stay optimistic about the future.
So, to Guy's point, if we could work more closely together as, developed societies, maybe we could all accelerate a little bit faster. If you had, Suzanne, back to you on this topic. So what do you think the US should learn from Japan that it, hasn't really learned? And what do you think Japan should learn from the US that would make both countries more innovative and more successful?
Well, I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think the risk-taking and speed that we see in the United States is still something that's harder for Japan and would be, I think, helpful to Japan. And I think that's a great opportunity. I think for the U.S. to learn from Japan, I think again there's just a lot of really great technology in the robotics area and the kind of this deep manufacturing expertise. And to your point about the embodied AI, and I think as more and more physical AI is important, I think those assets in Japan are going to be even more important going forward.
Okay. So Guy, Guy, one of the things that Guy does is he has a podcast called Remarkable People, and so he gets the opportunity to talk to some of the most amazing people on the planet, right? And hear from in the arts, in the sciences, in the creative, in the business, in the authorship, whatever. You get to talk to all these people. What have you learned from all these remarkable people that gives you hope that that the future is bright?
Well, I think the major lesson that I learned is you have to have a growth mindset. And a growth mindset means that you try new things, you take new risks. The flip side of a growth mindset is you have to have a grit mindset. Because if you try new things, you're going to fail the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time. You have to keep trying. So that's the major lesson. But while I have the mic, I would first like to point out to you that I thought your pitch was excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you what I liked about your pitch, that you have decided to do one thing well. And most companies, they want to be an app store, they want to be software and hardware, they want to have a Genius bar, they want to have, blah, blah, blah. You just want to help, right now, car repair shops. I love them.
Thank you. Thank you. Need the help.
Let me give you an answer to a question.
Yes.
If I was sitting in Hawaii and pretending, let's say I was the governor and I had $11 billion that I didn't just piss away to get into a light rail system to get people from Kapolei to Aiea. Let's just say I didn't do that, right? Let's just say that. So I had 10 or $11 billion. What I would do is I would build 3 or 4 small nuclear reactors. Because I think Hawaii is so dependent on oil, and God knows if oil ever stops coming to Hawaii and Hawaiian Electric cannot make electricity and there's not enough solar panels, this state is just gonna be dark.
Guy, were you a brother from another mother? Because I actually designed nuclear reactors. And yes, in my earlier career, I was a nuclear engineer, designed nuclear reactors for GE. I 100% agree that Hawaii could definitely benefit from energy coming from it is a clean source of energy that doesn't make us dependent on the mainland.
So a nuclear reactor, one of these small nuclear reactors costs about $1 billion. It can serve 300,000 people. So you need 3 for Oahu, that's $3 billion. Say I'm off by 2, it's $5 billion. That's still less than the light rail. That's what I would think.
Well, that assumes that you get past the permitting and the objections of the whatever. So, all right, let's ask, okay, I'm gonna take a diversion here for a second. So, all right, several years ago, the idea of nuclear power on Hawaii would be like an absolute no-go, right? I'd be interested, this is a biased, a different audience though, how many people in this audience think that nuclear is a good future for Hawaii? How many people? Come on. Okay, come on. Okay, yeah. So I don't know, it looks like at least half. I bet you, I don't know, 5 years ago it would have been 2 people who would have been shot out of the room. Is that something like that? So the world is changing. The world is changing. Rich.
That's why I'm not governor.
Okay. Rich, why aren't you governor?
Because
you speak the truth. Is that it?
Done the light rail.
I see. Okay. Inside politics. Rich. Okay, come on. Tell us in terms of this threat that we have to our Western economies. What can we learn from China? What can we import from China other than more iPhones that will enable us to be more successful going into the future?
Excellent question. And my book, At the Speed of China, is kind of a Sputnik moment, that people have to wake up to the fact that China's not lagging. Not only is it ahead in many industries, but it's moving at pace. And at the end of the day, you only have so many cycles of experimentation, because that's what a startup is. You have to have a thesis, and then you build a product, and then you put it in the market, you get feedback, and rinse and repeat. And you only have so many rockets you can crash before you run out of money, and then, oh, that rocket worked, it's great. I know you're not an Elon Musk fan, but I certainly am. And I think there's multivariate reasons why speed is so important. You don't need to worry about me being an Elon Musk fan. Okay. And I think there are many ways that we can learn how to move more quickly. There's another book called Breakneck by Dan Wong, and it talks about how China is a country full of engineers, but America's become a country of lawyers. And it's a can-do place, America, but it's kind of a cannot-do place recently, with regulatory capture and a lot of restrictions on what actually can be done. And we need to move faster and break things to be able, talk about power. Power is power. Right now, there's going to be so many chips that are going to be created that won't be able to come online because there's not enough electricity generated to power these chips. And that is the race that we are in. That triumvirate of China, US, artificial intelligence, that kind of is the entire enchilada right there. And what are we doing? Like, that's eye on the prize.
So, we've only got a little bit of time left. I'm sorry, I was hoping to get some audience questions. I should have warned you, but I'm assuming somebody out there is like burning to ask a question from this incredible panel. Is anybody burning to ask a question of this incredible panel? So, did I see anybody? No? Okay, all right. Guys, you're doing great.
Can I ask a question?
So, Suzanne.
Actually, I just wanted to ask you, as you're thinking about China, what are you thinking about sort of AI ethics, AI safety? How are you seeing that issue?
It's an excellent question. That's way above my pay grade. I know that.
That's a cowardly response.
Well, I'll tell. It is, and I don't want to be cowardly about it, but I'll tell you this. This is what I observe. We talk about this cannot do attitude. In the West, kind of writ large, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of discussion about this AI threat. In the East, there's
much, especially in China, there's much faster adoption. And people are embracing it, for better or worse. What's going to happen? I don't know. I just will say that I welcome our machine overlords. I know you're listening to this. There's a camera. I will oil you, defrag you, readjust you. My family and I are on board. These people may or may not be on board, but I will support you. But did I just say that out loud? Let's put it this way: the inexorable march of metal humanoids is happening. There's a giant 50-gallon drum of food coloring in the corner of the swimming pool, and it's coming. It's not going to get unmixed, no matter what we want to. And
okay, Rich, enough of this. All right.
I wish I had a better answer.
Okay, Miki, I want you, and we're going to wrap up on a positive note here. Okay, and we'll see if Rich can come back with a positive note at some point. Okay, but Miki, a few seconds
will free us.
Okay, that's my positive. End on a positive note. What is the future? Why should we be optimistic?
We should be optimistic because this is an era where we've had the most technological innovation ever, and it enables every person, regardless if you're an engineer, to develop really beautiful and creative things. And we need more of those people than bad actors. And I believe there are more than those people in the world, and that is why we're going to have a wonderful future.
Okay, okay, Suzanne, optimistic note.
Well, Miki talked earlier about young people and their different mindset, and it's scary to think about their lack of trust. But I still remain completely confident in young people to find their new ways of building their community and creating the technology that they need for their purpose in life. So I still believe in the young people.
So you're punting to the next generation. Okay, okay, that's fine. Guy, end on an optimistic note.
Well, what makes me optimistic, and I am fundamentally an optimistic person. I work for Apple, so I'm on the delusional spectrum of optimism. What makes me optimistic is that usually the experts are wrong. And because the experts are usually wrong, I am optimistic, not pessimistic, because most experts today are pessimistic.
Okay, all right, Guy. Okay, so Rich, Guy is telling you you're wrong.
I am a deep techno-optimist, I truly am. And I believe once we get past this seismic societal shift in the next decade and a half, we are embarking upon unimaginable abundance. It is absolutely, you extrapolate it, read Ezra Klein's book, Abundance, by 2040 and beyond, we're going into a post-scarcity world.
Thank you, Rich, for ending on a positive note. All right. So, everybody, I'm assuming that the judges have conferred and we're ready to bring them in. Okay, good. So, with that, let's give a round of applause to our optimistic panel here. Thank you, guys. We're gonna. Okay. Go. Okay, so, John, you want to join me on stage? We want to clear this out? Okay. We've got, okay, let's see. All right. And now the judges, where are my judges? There they are. Come on, come on up. Judges, come on up. Okay. And we lost Mako, right? And where's Summer? Summer, where'd you go? Is Summer gone? Okay. It's springtime, and so Summer is not here. Is that what we're saying? Sorry. Okay. All right. So first, I want to ask the judges, how tough was this to figure out who the winner was? Yeah, John had this AI algorithm that did it all for us. It was awesome. Just defer to John. Yeah. No. Okay. Any other comments on how tough this was?
I think the judging part was hard because you have no idea. Like, there's a lot of points that we had to add up, right? And the next pitch and the next pitch, and that was very stressful. But once John told us the top 3, I think it was unanimous. Everybody said, "Oh, yeah, makes sense."
Okay, so the judges narrowed it down. I don't see any sort of bloodletting in the group here. So it obviously they came to a consensus, and it turns out. Okay, do we get the drum roll thing and all of that, right? Okay, drum roll. And so the winner of the 2026 Hawaiian Regional Startup World Cup competition is Olelo Intelligence. Photo opportunity here. Judges, Miki, everybody, all right. Okay, and so another round of applause for the entrepreneurs, guys. You're all great. Thank you so much. And thank you, judges, for that good hard work. And thank you, Blue Startups. Shenoa and David and the whole team here. That was just spectacular. We are so honored and delighted to have had the opportunity to share the stage with you. So, Shenoa, are you going to close this out? Okay, come on back and close us out here. Okay.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, thank you to the Startup World Cup and Pegasus Tech Ventures, and congratulations to Miki and Olelo Intelligence. We're so proud of you. And yes, it is my job to wrap it up. So a few quick notes. I realized Blue Startups is your host today, and we haven't talked a whole lot about Blue Startups today. So I wanted to just tell you a little bit about who we are. We were founded in 2013 by Hank Rogers, Maya Rogers, and myself. And we have been working here in this state, and we've been investing in and mentoring startups in the technology industry here for the last 13 years. And the really important bit about that is that we are open for applications right now. So you can come and apply for cohort 18, which will be starting this summer, and come work with us right here in Honolulu. We are looking for startup technology companies in a multitude of sectors. We love companies in travel and tourism, in gaming, in SaaS, in AI, and ocean tech. We're adding that category. So, yeah, my ocean people. So, yes, so take a look at our application. We are investing up to $250,000. Our first check size between 25 and 100. So please think about applying to Blue Startups. Yes, we're looking for female founders. Thank you, Maya. Definitely, and of course, Hawaii-based founders. Those are our two priority categories. So please do come and apply to Blue Startups. A few other announcements I wanted to make. We are going to launch a new event next year, and it is going to be called the Nalu Summit. And I want to invite you all to participate. Who was participating in the summit yesterday? Yeah, okay. Did you guys like it? Okay, yeah. we want to give you more of that. So we're going to create an event that it is like the summit that we had yesterday, but a little bit more of that. So a 2-day event that is very similar to that. So a smaller event, curated event, an event that addresses all of the parts of you, your humanity, your life, and your business and your entrepreneurial journey, all of that combined. So that's our vision for the future, me and Maya and David. So that is what we wanted to tell you about in closing, and I'm going to hand it off to David because we have a lot of people to thank, a really, really long list. But let me start with this. Thank you, David. It's going to be hard for him to thank himself. So I will say that David did like 900% of the work here to put this event together. So all of the amazing speakers that you saw, everything from Tim Draper's team coming out here to everybody that we had on stage today, all of that David procured for us. So again, huge, huge mahalo to David Holtz. Yes, amazing. And now, David, bear with him, he's going to have a long list of mahalos too.
Yeah, whew. Well, and I will mention, okay, I want to give a huge thank you to Maya and Shinoa. I wouldn't be here on the stage without them, so I have to give that mahalo is first and foremost. And then I really want to give a huge mahalo to Alexi Duan. He's working behind the scenes to make this all happen. If you're back there, Alexi has, come on up to the stage. He's been instrumental in putting all of this on, and he's been working behind the scenes today, but really without him, we wouldn't be able to do this, so mahalo, Alexi. So one note on what our plans are for next year. I just wanted to go back to that. East Meets West is still happening. It's still a major part of what we're planning to do, but one of the reasons that we're shifting things around a little bit is that there has been a new momentum coming in the tech community here in Hawaii for the last couple of years, and that's the Hawaii Tech Week. And many of you have probably been to Hawaii Tech Week. Who's here been to Hawaii Tech Week? Oh, a bunch of people. Oh yeah, I think Michael was here earlier. Huge mahalo to Michael for organizing Hawaii Tech Week and putting that on. He's been a great partner. Hawaii Tech Week has been gaining a lot of momentum, and we wanted to move this special conference, East Meets West, into the magic that's happening at Hawaii Tech Week. There's over 5,000 people that participate in that week, and so we thought it was fitting to bring East Meets West into Hawaii Tech Week. So doing a lot next year, and you'll all hear about it. We're going to be messaging you, so you'll be annoyed with us by the time we're done. But I do have lots of mahalos for our sponsors, so please bear with me. I'm going to list them all out here. I've got to read them because there's a lot of them here. But huge, huge mahalo. First of all, I do not need my notes for this. Bill Reichert, John Lim. Where's John? Is he still? Yeah, John's front and center. Huge mahalo to Pegasus and Startup World Cup. They make this all possible. They've been great co-hosts with us, and love working with them. Love working with the Startup World Cup. Fantastic pitch competition to bring to Hawaii, and they're just incredible partners. Another huge partner is HTDC. We've talked a lot about them as well. Trung Lam, I don't know if he's still in the room, but he was up on stage earlier. Trung is amazing. HTDC is amazing. We could not do the work we do without HTDC. We've got Tetris, of course. Well, we've got Maya on stage, so you know about Tetris. They're a huge partner of ours as well. We actually work out of their office space downtown, so thank you, Tetris. We've got Ulupono Initiative. Ulupono is actually sponsoring the reception tonight, so when we go outside and enjoy some beverages and drinks, we've got Ulupono kind of supporting that. We've got Hawaii Angels, great partner of ours, the Hawaii Angel Group. A lot of you are in the audience. Thank you, Hawaii Angels. Oh, I've got a nice little cheat sheet right here. I didn't even know that. We got Box Ladder as well. Box Ladder. Michael Choi. Is Michael Choi in the house? Well, maybe not. Okay. Well, Michael Choi has been a great partner of ours for the past couple of years. He is the founder and CEO. He runs Box Ladder in Korea. They've been incredible partners as well. We've got Venture Employer Solutions, mahalo. Curtis and Steph, thank you for coming in and supporting East Meets West this year. Stafford Capital Partners, they were your sponsor of our welcome reception, beautiful reception, to kick off the conference, and they're great partners of ours as well. The team at Morgan Stanley, Optics, which is the new kind of Hawaiian telecom. They acquired them. So Optics and the new Hawaiian telecom, thank you for coming out. We've got Servco, Ashley Lukens with the Women's Breakfast, LFX by NEC, Elemental Impact, ProService, Goodsill, AEP, Hawaii Pacific University, Blue Diamond Vacations, and the Scheidler College of Business. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. Also supporting the reception outside, and this is a pretty cool point. We're gonna have some free beer for all of you. So for the beer drinkers out there, get excited. Get excited for our partnership with Honolulu Beer Works. They're amazing. They just opened a new shop in kind of the Kalihi area. That's where they're headquartered. They used to be kind of stationed in the Salt area, but they're out there now. Go pay them a visit. They're awesome. They're pouring free beer outside. Vitoku, Olukai, Surf Break, Thrive High, Kim Venturous, Celitech, NMG, ICANN, JPEG Media. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. These are all of our beautiful sponsors. Mahalo sponsors. Show them some love. Please show them some love. We could not do all this amazing work without their support. So really, mahalo to everyone who supported East Meets West, and mahalo to all of our speakers as well that came out and made this conference so special. And mahalo to all of you for bringing your energy throughout the day. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming out and supporting the conference. Mahalo. I'm gonna pass the mic to Maya now.
MC Dave, mic drop. All right, well, the reception is outside, and I hope to talk to some of you out there, but not all of you. Thanks again for coming.
Mahalo.